Hello everyone, Public Jim here. Just taking a break from walking around on the property and wanted to do a quick video just on a little bit of radio field use. Specifically, I carry around a Baofeng handheld. I have several just the standard UV5Rs, but this particular model is UV S9 Plus, which is one of the tri-power ones. Puts out like 8 or 9 watts on high, and I like it quite a bit compared to the standard 5Rs, and it operates pretty much the same way. It's just another of the mini models. But I know there are a lot of people that have Baofeng radios but really don't know a lot about using them or how to get a lot of performance out of them out in the field. You know, they work great when you're close, and you know, most people just have the base unit with the rubber duck, which doesn't really perform too well over greater distances or in rough terrain. But as a member of search and rescue, you know, I rely on my radio extensively in the field, so I wanted to do some things to optimize performance and capabilities. So, first thing that I recommend to anybody that has a handheld is to get a better antenna. And, you know, this is like a generic copy of a Nagoya whip antenna, and very cheap, makes a world of difference as far as transmitting and receiving compared to just the standard little stubby rubber duck. You know, this thing's a little more annoying when you're carrying it because you have to watch out you don't poke your eye out. But that antenna, that's like the basic essential upgrade for getting out in the field and having any kind of range with it. Something else that comes in handy if you don't want to have to just constantly be holding the radio in your hand when you're using it is either a power mic like this or one of the earpieces that has the microphone, you know, sits on the side of your neck there. Either one of those options is pretty good. I was using this one today. I had it just clipped up on my chest there, and you still have to use one hand to transmit, but makes it easy to hear when somebody's calling, especially if you're wearing the radio somewhere other than on your chest. Like, I tend to carry it in this drop leg platform, so it's out of my way, but it's nice to have the mic or the earpiece to where, you know, it's a little more convenient to use when you have one hand in use already, and also just makes the volume better as far as being able to hear it over background noise. So again, those multiple sources, they're dirt cheap. I recommend getting more than one, just so if one fails, then you just throw it out and use another one. You know, they're just an inexpensive way to improve the use of the radio. Then, if this whip antenna or something similar is not adequate, you know, I know some people have like the folding tactical antennas, and I've heard some decent reviews of those too, but there are circumstances where even that's not going to get out. You know, if you're in a ravine somewhere and heavily wooded areas and a ways away, you might be able to hear the person that's calling, especially if they're using a mobile radio, but you know, you're just not able to transmit out and reach the repeater, or you know, if you're using simplex, just can't get directly to the person you're calling. So for those situations, I have this roll-up J-pole antenna. It has, hopefully that shows up okay, but it's got the end on it that threads in where the antenna normally goes on the Baofeng, and on the other end it's just this long wire, and on the other end it's got this little loop, like a zip tie, and you can uncoil that and attach something on that loop for some weight. And, well, actually, let me backtrack. Not quite like that. You can basically, you put some weight on a line, like a piece of paracord or something, throw it up over a tree branch, and then attach the other end of it to this, and then pull that up over the tree branch. So you can, I believe this was about 20 feet long. I don't remember exactly what it is, and I'm not going to bother uncoiling it all right now because I have to put it away again. But gets that antenna up there quite a ways and gives you a much better quality antenna than just the one mounted on the radio. And I've only used it one time so far when I was doing a camp out, but from the back of my property here, I tossed it up into a tree, and I was using that because I was on call for the hospital, and so I was monitoring their channel, and during the night several times I got woke up by calls from the hospital in Colville, which is about, I don't know, it's over 40 miles direct line. So I thought that was pretty impressive range. I have doubts that I could have communicated to them, but I was hearing their transmissions, which I never do when I just have the regular antenna on the radio. So I have no doubt that I could have easily contacted anybody in our county, in the area. So, you know, that's an option if we're out somewhere on a SAR mission, or I'm out hiking by myself, or any kind of scenario like that where something happens and we need to communicate and I can't get out with that whip antenna. I know that I can pull out that roll-up J-pole and get it up in a tree or something, you know, get some elevation on it, and it's going to greatly increase my chances of being able to reach somebody for assistance. So something that's lightweight, compact, easy to carry, and just gives that extra level of performance if necessary. And then one final thing that I want to touch on is I usually try to always have a fully charged spare battery with me, just in case. I mean, these Baofeng radios, they have surprising battery life anyway. You know, even with this relatively small battery, if I'm not using it a lot, it'll last for a couple of days. The UV5Rs with the extended battery, the higher capacity ones, it's not uncommon to get 3 days of life out of those. Of course, if you're communicating a lot, then that will cut down on it, but still, it's generally far more than what we need for a single SAR mission. But like I said, I like to carry a spare battery just in case. But then, because I'm the type of guy that is, you know, the belt and suspenders type, where I like to be totally prepared for all sorts of extreme possibilities, I go one step further, and I have this charger which plugs into port on the side of the battery there and has a USB end on it, so I don't have to have the actual, you know, the base battery charger. I can plug this cable into the battery itself, and then I carry around a solar charger and battery bank, which I make sure is charged up anytime I'm going to be going out. And so then if I drain it down, then I can have it hanging on my pack in sunlight, and charge it up again. But I can plug this thing into that battery bank. I haven't actually tested to see how long it would take to charge. I'm sure it would be pretty time consuming compared to just plugging in the base unit. But as long as I have another battery that is charged, I'm pretty sure that that will charge one up before I discharge the other one. So in that way, if I had some extended emergency situation out in the woods, I would still be able to keep at least one battery charged up. And you know, that just makes me feel a little more secure. I know a lot of people don't like to carry tons of stuff with them. My pack is always bulkier and heavier than what most people would really want to carry, but I know that I can do it and do it frequently. So it's worth it to me to have that extra peace of mind. So that's just a final piece there for field use, that for, you know, just in case the worst case scenario happens and I need to be able to charge up my batteries and continue to use the radio for an extended period of time. So those are some thoughts on radio field use. I should add the disclaimer too that I am a licensed ham. I know there's a lot of people that use Baofangs that are not licensed, and they're using them on frequencies that technically is not legal. I'm not going to get into all the FCC restrictions or anything. Just know that when I'm talking about using my radio, that I am legal. I'm not recommending to anybody that they do anything illegal, but I'm not like the radio police. If people are using it to communicate in an emergency, you know, I'm not going to be judging that. But those are just some ideas for improving performance of the radio out in the field and having some contingency plans in case. So hope that's been useful. This has been Republic Jim. I'll talk to you later.